beautiful babes. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you so much. In this episode, you've seen the title, right? I'm going to teach you how to do 25K a month in the coaching industry opposed to around with the 10K months, all right? I want to teach you about one of my beautiful clients, Delise. So shout out to you, my babe. This beautiful soul sister of mine is incredible. She has done a $27,000 a month this month, I'm pretty sure, to be exact. Now, let's go into her story. When she came into my business, she had already been doing events. Now her events, so she already had built a community, right? So she built a brand, she built a community, she's doing events. And like when I say events, she's doing like breath work and meditation and those sort of beautiful pieces. However, there wasn't necessarily a big sell into something else. She just ran a retreat she loves, and she just did the most amazing retreat. The women got so deep, all the pieces. And I said to her, let's sell them into your next offering, right? So here's the thing that I see in the coaching industry a lot. People come into the coaching industry and they have this idea that they want to do 10K, they have this idea they want to do 20K or 50K, or whatever the goal is. Yet they don't have a funnel system that's actually able to get you there. So what I did with Delise is I gave her some tools and gave her a follow through of a funnel system that will get her to her desired months. Now, the best thing about Delise is she was like, oh, I don't know how to really start coaching. And I was like, babe, you do. She was like, all right, I'm going to start trusting myself. She started selling people literally. I think her first clients were like $2,500, $3,000, right? For a 6-week or an 8-week program, which is very standard in the industry when you first start out. I said to her, what would it look like if you were to run a 6-month container or a 12-month container one-on-one with you? And she was like, oh, and I said to her, what would the desired outcome be for the client? What if the client got to fully heal anxiety? What if the client fully healed depression? How much would it be worth to them? And she was like, oh my God. For the last couple of weeks, we've been going through different layers of unworthiness, different layers of what I believe you capping yourself at the results that you're at is actually underneath, right? The core root of the issue that I see all the time in the industry is that people don't feel worthy to charge. Now, I've also been there, babe. When I first started in the industry, I literally was doing psychic readings for $20 and Reiki healings for $40 because I didn't feel worthy to charge anymore. And same thing, the first time I sold a client at $7,500, I remember how nervous I was. However, I stretched myself. I want to let you know, Delise has now sold a beautiful client for $25,000. So opposed to it being $2,000, we made it $25,000. So opposed to her selling a client and only making $2,000 this month, she's been able to make $25,000. Is this making sense, guys? So the piece here is, sometimes it's easier to sell a higher ticket client for a longer period of time if you believe they're a soulmate client. Now, what I teach people in all my programs is the energetics of how to call in your soul aligned clients. When you have this soul aligned client that comes to you, you're going to want to work with them for longer than 6 weeks, for longer than 8 weeks, because there's more of a transmission that their soul is choosing to have. What I would love you to know is, the steps to get you from 0 to 10, the steps to get you from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 are similar. It is about you actually stretching your bandwidth of what you can hold energetically. And then when you hold that energetically, you realize you are worthy. The more worthy you become, the more money you make, right? That month we did $600,000 in one single month. The reason I did that was because I actually stretched myself in my relationship with Warren about how worthy I felt to receive his love. Now, I believe that there is a direct correlation between the depth of intimacy and the depth of orgasm that you can get yourself to and your body to, and the depth of your bank account. I truly do. Like, over my most successful clients are the ones I'm sure who have the best sex. Because there is this pleasure and this letting go and this surrender and this expansion that you can feel within your body. And if your body is the energetic capacity and the energetic connection to then your bank account, like, how do you think that they're correlated, right? Pleasure, which is also money, pleasure, sex, good food, good taste, good life, right, is also then connected into how much money you can make. I believe that the more you stretch your energetic capacity, the more money you're gonna make. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, how the do I stretch my energetic capacity now? There is one huge piece that I always teach my clients. This is courage. Now, what is going to put you into more fear? I have another client who has been, for the last couple of months, just kind of hitting the same ceiling every single month, 15K, 15K, 15K. And I said to her, there has to be a change. What is something that you're willing to do that is going to put you into so much fucking courage that is going to switch you from your current level of financial situation, which is $15,000 a month, to literally hitting a new ceiling of 30,000? What is going to double your income? Now, to double your income, you're going to want to put yourself into a fair position. And I'm not meaning fucking go to Afghanistan on your own. I'm talking about running an event that scares the fucking shit out of you. And so I want to give you some context. This time exactly last year, I ran my first massive Australian tour, and 2 days before I got on stage, my mentor said to me, you have to learn to sell from stage. And I was like, are you fucking joking? I have no idea how to do that. And he was like, if you learn how to sell from stage now, you're going to be shit, which is great. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, if you're consistently shit for the next 6 months, in 6 months' time, you'll be earning more money. Would you be willing to eat shit for the next 6 months? Literally words from my mentor. Are you willing to eat shit for 6 months to be great at something long term? And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. I was in so much fear that was really underlining courage, right? And I was like, how the am I going to do this? So I had the Gold Coast first. Then we had about 70 people in the room. And I did my first pitch from stage ever. So run to the back of the room, buy my shit. And I think I had 3 people sign up out of the 70 people. And I was so disheartened. I was so fucking upset. We refined a few bits and pieces. The next day, I was sitting in a bath and he sends me another piece. And he's like, right, now I want you to try this piece of selling from stage. And I was like, I actually don't want to do it. I had all this fear and all this doubt and all this, like I didn't trust myself. I didn't feel worthy. I felt like an idiot. I felt like these people were going to laugh at me. I felt like a fraud. Like I felt all these things. And yet I was in the bath and I was like, no, I know that I can do this. Like I know that I'm going to eat shit. I'm prepared to eat shit right now. Like if I just go out there and do my best, that's all I'm going to do. Sure enough, I go out there and we do Melbourne. Now I only have, I think, 12 or 15 people in the room, so a really small room. And I gave the exact slides, the pitch. I went over and over and over 100 million times. I recorded myself saying the pitch and listened to the pitch the whole entire way to the event. I get on stage, I do the pitch. The whole entire audience gets up and goes to the back of the room. I sold the whole audience. And I was like, oh my God. I was in so much fear that morning that I wasn't going to deliver. I wasn't going to say the right thing. They were going to laugh at me. I had a small room, so I thought it was going to be even weirder because it was going to be that they were going to be really staring at me. I felt so awkward. And then really, when I just trusted myself and I stood on stage with so much power, I had the whole audience go to the back of the room. Now, by the end of it, I think only like 2 or 3 people didn't actually sign up, but they all got a clipboard. And I thought I was going to make every single sale. So I think I was like 90%, right? Which for the industry is humongous. In the industry, people normally only sell 11% of the room. And that's in like a big room with a warm audience. And so most of these people were a cold audience as well. And so that then built this little seed, this little spark of light of like trusting, like I can actually do this. So what I want to say to you is, if you're wanting to stretch your energetic capacity to getting to 25K months, you have to be willing to get into the arena and do things that people aren't doing. Delise was ready to get into the arena. She was willing and ready to do anything it took. She ran a massive retreat a few weeks ago, and it took so much courage for her to do that. And she was voice noting me in the morning of like, oh, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. I don't know. Should I do this? Should I do this? And I messaged her back and I was like, trust yourself. I trust that you're a channel and I know that you can do this. And then by the end of the day, she messaged me, oh my God, I trusted my channel. We went down to the waterfall. I led these women through this process and they were all crying and they were so grateful and they all had their own breakthroughs. And I was like, yes, babe. It is about literally being willing to walk into the fire, being willing to be burnt by f***ing it up, and then by being willing to have the empowerment of being in the fire, right? That is full courage. So my beautiful babes, from this podcast, episode, vlog, whatever we want to call it, I hope you take these pieces. You can sell a one-on-one client for 6 weeks or an 8-week program. However, if they're a direct soulmate client, what if you were to sell them into a $25,000 package that is 6 months or a year? That there is going to give you consistent cash flow every single month. Now imagine if you had 3 of those or 5 of those. It's so easy to do 100K months. I want to make this so normal in our industry, opposed to having to do $3,000 and $4,000 months. What if we were just to go straight into a 100K month? Then I look at my beautiful client Candy, you know, she was doing $15,000 months when she came into my field. I literally said to her, babe, you're going to do $100,000 a month this month. And all of a sudden I gave her these little pieces. I taught her how to sell from stage, which gave her that big courage. Boom. She did 200K months back to back. I look at my other client, Simone. Shout out to me, my babies. Simone, she's been a coach in the industry for ages. She's worked underneath Joe Dispenza. Like, this woman is incredible. However, there was this block of worthiness that was going on. And I said to her at my retreat, I said, babe, you have the skills and the resources and the tools. You just don't believe that you're worthy of charging it. And I said to her, W prices. And she's like, fuck. And one of my other clients in my container, she does 50K clients and she's been inspiring the other girls to do it. And I literally said to Simone, I was like, this is your piece, babe. Like, you get to be worthy of charging whatever it is that you want. And she then sold 2 clients back to back into a 100K offer. So she went from doing, you know, when she came into my field, $15,000. The first month of working with me, she did a $40,000 month. Then the month afterwards, she did a $240,000 month. Literally by these few things that I told her: worthiness, courage, realizing that there's bigger offers that you can teach people, because she's already got so many resources because she's built a brand and built a community. Now, if you're someone starting out in the industry and you don't necessarily have a community, or you know, you haven't built the brand yet, what I would encourage you to do is still find a one person that you can work with that is so soul aligned, that you love, that you know are going to get results, that you know is going to get the fucking fire in the belly, is going to roar and going to do some cool shit. That person, sell them into a high ticket, right? Feel worthy to charge that. One thing I also want to remind you is, whatever you have paid for mentoring, you can then receive. For instance, I paid one coach $150,000. I could then go and sell a client for $150,000, right? There is an energetic connection that's happened. I've paid that to one person solidly. He's received that. I now know I can get that back as well. So my beautiful babes, I hope I've given you some golden nuggets today. I love you, and I will see you next week.